Janie Lou Gibbs was a seemingly devoted wife and mother. However, beneath her calm and religious exterior was one of the most disturbing killers in American history. Join me today as we delve into the world of this Christmas Black Widow. Janie Lou was born in Georgia on December 25th, Christmas Day, in 1932. She was deeply involved in her church community and was loved by her peers in that congregation. At this time, the United States was at the height of the Great Depression. Unemployment soared, banks failed, and there was widespread poverty. In an agricultural state like Georgia, there would have been a lot of pressure on all members of the family to work the fields and bring in crops. Janie Lou was likely no exception. After a life of hard work, Janie Lou married her husband Charles. They were married 18 years before Janie Lou committed her first murder. One evening in 1965, shortly after supper, her husband Charles collapsed. The evening had been a normal one, uneventful, as most were. Janie Lou cooked supper just like any other night, or at least that's what her husband thought. While Charles was in the hospital, Janie Lou had brought him homemade soup so he would have some of the comforts of home. Charles died on January 21st, 1966. Doctors attributed his death to an undiagnosed liver disease. No one questioned this, least of all Janie. What only she knew was that she had poisoned her husband's supper with arsenic on that night shortly after Christmas. While he was suffering in the hospital, she continued the poisoning. Yup, you guessed it, in the homemade soup. No one suspected a thing. So at the age of 33, Janie Lou Gibbs had become a widow with 3 teenage sons. Being a loving church, the members supported her in her time of grief. Once she collected the life insurance from Charles' death, she donated a portion to the church. 8 months had passed and Janie's life was getting back to normal. About the same time, her youngest son, Marvin, had suddenly taken ill. He suffered from abdominal pain with vomiting and diarrhea. These symptoms were eerily familiar. It was first thought that Marvin had inherited the liver disease that his father had been suspected of having. After his death on August 29, 1966, his death was ruled as hepatitis. Marvin was 13 years old. Again, no one questioned the death, and again, Janie was supported by her church and received an insurance payout. After around 6 months, this pattern began to repeat itself when Janie's middle son, Melvin, became ill. On January 23, 1967, he was pronounced dead. Melvin was 16 years old. The cause was listed as a rare muscular disorder. Again, Janie was supported by her church during her struggle and received an insurance payout. In all 3 of these cases, she donated a portion of the life insurance money to the church. Only one son remained in the Gibbs family. This was Roger, her eldest son at 19 years old. Roger was married, and the couple had welcomed their first baby named Ronnie. Janie was ecstatic to have become a grandmother. Shortly after her initial excitement, the baby became ill and died suddenly. Only a month later, his father, Roger, would also die suddenly. Both Roger and Ronnie were young and healthy. There was no reason for them to have suddenly died. The family physician became suspicious and reported the deaths to the state crime lab. An autopsy was performed on Roger, and they found that he had ingested a fatal amount of arsenic. With this result, the only conclusion was to look toward Janie Lou. She was arrested for murder on Christmas Day, December 25th. After her arrest, the bodies of her husband and 2 sons were exhumed. Autopsies conducted revealed each one had arsenic in their bodies at the time of death. Initially, Janie Lou was found unfit to stand trial and was sent to a mental institution where, ironically, she worked as a cook. Later, she was tried for the murders, and on May 9, 1976, she was sentenced to 5 life sentences. She remained in prison until 1999, when she was diagnosed with advanced Parkinson's disease. She was 66 years old. Janie Lou was released into the custody of her sister and died in a Georgia nursing home in 2010. Between 1965 and 1967, Janie Lou Gibbs poisoned 5 of her family members, each with arsenic. Each time she collected the insurance money and each time leaned on the good hearts of her church family. Janie Lou lost her way and was enticed by money and attention. The cost? 5 innocent souls. If you like this true crime account and you enjoyed seeing my miniature creation, make sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel. You never know what video will pop up next. Bye!